Hey, what's going on? So today I want to just kind of discuss another big topic for me, which is time and where you invest your time. I learned this a long time ago, but one of the things is that if you are focusing on putting time into something, where would you rather invest it in? Would you rather invest it in somebody else and somebody else's dream of business, or do you want to invest it in yourself and pursue your dream of business? Um, Not everybody's in the same situation, so I'll just speak specifically about my situation and just kind of follow me along with the story. But for a greater part of my life, I've been involved in whether it was companies, whether it was a job, or whether it was something that benefited the other person. It didn't necessarily benefit me to the extent of where I got a lot of financial reward or gain or something like that. But what I did learn throughout that is I gained a very piece of knowledge is that, you know, I could spend my time and energy, resources, and everything like that to help somebody else propel themselves forward. Yet the whole entire time I'm stuck in struggling mode, or I'm stuck in a position to where there's no advancement or anything like that. So one of the things that I've started realizing over the last several years is that the more time I put into me, I'm my biggest investment. And if I don't start focusing time on me, then I cannot get to where I need to go. And it's not a selfish concept or I'm not trying to be selfish when I'm saying this. I'm just saying that if I put the energy into my thoughts, dreams, and the things that I want to go to, and I stop worrying about helping somebody else's financial dreams, that reality becomes what I make it to be. When I started doing it part-time, it was a snail pace for me to get to where I wanted to go, because at one point I was working a corporate job, and then I was doing what I wanted to do as far as the gym part-time, and I was just killing myself. Spent a lot of hours doing that, but in reality, it wasn't until I kind of just jumped out there and did it, not necessarily knowing where I was going to go or how I was going to land on my 2 feet, but just doing it, putting the action into it. If you don't put the action into it, you'll just be putting yourself further along where you can be. And most of you guys right now want to just hurry up and get to where you want to be. So the best way is to just invest in yourself. There's a huge amount of risk in it, so I'm not going to lie to you or anything like that. So the risk is going to be there, and it's going to be challenging, and it's going to actually shape you and make you throughout that process, which if you're like me, it actually is inspiring, because knowing that you go through those particular things, you get a sense of achievement when you get through the hurdle, the barrier, the problem, the issue, and you look back in hindsight and see how far you come. That's where the true transformation comes. And also you're able to have a story yourself and provide testimony to what you've been through. So now people are able to believe and you have credibility in it. So the risk will be there, and you just have to know that. But if you have the right kind of faith and you know where you're supposed to go and how you're supposed to get there, those things aren't scary at all. Fear is something that we tell ourselves, and as we tell ourselves that we have fear, therefore it becomes true. So if you tell yourself that you're going to get there, you're going to make it, you're going to find a way to get through all those obstacles, then you'll also tell yourself and start providing the action with that. So the risk will be there. Another thing that I've also learned is that I rather invest in me, because I know what I'm going to do and I know how I'm going to go about it, instead of allowing somebody else to be the one that's in control of that. And what I mean by that is, so let's just say you have a scenario to where you can invest in yourself and you want to learn and you want to put all the energy and effort into yourself. You may have not the greatest success in the beginning, but you know what? You've able to overcome certain things. So now you'll start noticing that you'll stay at a slow, steady pace for a while, and then it'll start exponentially growing up. And that's because you continue to put into yourself, and you've allowed that to be established. If you do that for somebody else, more often than not, they don't have your best interest. They don't have your dreams in mind. They don't know where you're trying to go. They're focused on them. So as they're focused on them, you should do the same thing. I mean, it just makes sense. After managing a company and having my own business, the more that I try to teach and coach employees and try to project my vision to them, some of them got it and some of them didn't. And the ones that did not get it, it became more work for me. And so I used to have to step in and do that job. And nobody was going to work harder than me in that. I mean, no owner works harder in the company. Well, let me rephrase it. No employee works harder than the owner in most scenarios, because the owner knows that it's his baby, it's his dream, it's the one that cares for. So I just started like making a mind shift change, a long time ago, that if I'm going to do something, I want to get it done, but I know that I'm going to invest in me to do that. And you have to do a kind of like catalog, or you have to kind of take an inventory of what you have internally to know what your resources are, so you can start making those things grow and sprout. Those several things that you may have skills, you have resources, you have things that you can do before you actually start getting out there, which can make some of that uncertainty not as scary. And once you start knowing the tools that you possess, then it's a matter of just applying those tools to working towards those things that better you. And if you know that there's an area that you need to be improved or sharpened or whatever, you spend your time learning those things. One of the biggest things that I've realized, my dad used to tell me this as a kid. I used to think it was just because he wanted me to read books and stuff like that, so I didn't get on video games as much. But he used to say, the biggest way that they keep black men down is by putting things in books. And the reason why they do that is because the secrets are all in books. And the more and the older I've become, that has become, just wisdom. Because if you want to find anything, it's already written down in a book somewhere. Whether it's talking from relationship to money to health to whatever, it's all in there. And one of the best books out there is the Bible. And you can take a look to see whatever you need in life and find out whatever secrets you want to. But by spending time reading, that's how you're going to improve yourself. That's an investment that you can put into yourself, but it's going to require the time in order to do that. And I know some of y'all are thinking like, man, Scott, I don't have time to do that because I got to go here. I don't have time to sit down. I got this. Everybody has that. But until you start making that shift, go to like an audio book, go to audible.com, whatever you need to do, just get the information, get the knowledge, because as soon as you start sharpening yourself, getting your mind ready, you're able to put those things into actions. So I just kind of wanted to leave you a little bit with that. Again, invest in yourself because nobody else is going to invest in you more than you will. And you will be the one that takes you to the next step. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.